If you've been feeling like, okay, the eclipse, now what? You're going to want to pay attention to this. I've got some things for you. I got this new, because of this work, I just picked up this new Oracle deck by Cindy Dale, and this is the Subtle Body Oracle deck. A lot of you that are specifically healer, like physical practitioners, so my massage therapists, my Chinese medicine folks, my energetics, somatics, all of that. Reiki, there we go. That was the word I was looking for. You all are probably very, very well acquainted with like the 12 chakras, the 12 aura system, energy fields, all of that. I'm really just now, because again, these are all physical things. And now really paying this much attention to my body. I'm really coming into the subtle nature of it and kind of almost seeing now like my different layers of like aura and energy in the same way of like landscaping at my house, right? Where it's like, okay, so my physical body is like the house, that's the vessel, but then you have all these beautiful things around, and you may even have like cars in the garage, like in the driveway or in the garage. Like, are there gas in them? Do you need to get gas? Like, just kind of starting to look at all of this outer energy of me of like, oof, we need to dust this off or kind of pay attention to this thing here. And again, I think that's slowing down so that, again, when these big things come through, because friends, they're coming through. This is a big year, the end of this year, going into next year, there's big, big things that are coming through. And so having all of your energy in that place of, I'm ready to receive it. Cool. And I also want to say, like, we're all in different journeys, all of our, not in places in the journey, because each of our journeys are different, and even like the words of which you describe these things, your higher power, your guides, who you talk to, all of these things are going to be different for you. So again, as always with my podcast, and God bless with anything else out in the world, take what works for you and leave the rest. Okay. So I was just going to pull just a quick card. These are new, so I'm not certain that it's going to be like the exact thing, but I just wanted to give them a little shot and just kind of see. Actually, go ahead if you're not driving, same as me. Go ahead and just close your eyes and kind of get, um, oof, yeah, just kind of let any of that anxiousness that this needs to be done just kind of leave. Take a big, big breath into your belly. Feel the whole space of your belly. There's so much space. And just kind of hear either like, what is the last thing that needs to empty itself out? Or what's like ready to be looked at? What's ready to really get some nurture? And you can just say a quick prayer for yourself. I'll say one for me. And we're just going to see what we get. Here we go. Let's see. Nice. It's also interesting because the first thing that I heard was like, it doesn't matter like what the card is, because whatever was coming up for each of you individually, like that's the thing you already know. Which may sound like a cop-out message, but it's not, which you maybe even heard me kind of giggle to myself, because sometimes that's what's so funny about, at least in the way that I communicate with spirit, which of course they communicate to me through comedy, but where sometimes I'll be like, okay, yeah, we're really gonna like go in and we're gonna like get the message and pull it out. And they're like, yeah, or maybe you just like already know. And so does everybody else who's listening and they want a message, like they already know. Okay, tell them to check their inbox, right? They already know. But I love this card that I pulled. And especially for those of you, and one of my friends specifically, who I will not call you out, but I will DM you about it because I'm sure you know that I'm speaking about you, does a lot of Chinese medicine and a lot of this work. And so yeah, this this card, I would be interested to hear your feedback as well. But this is the liver meridian card. If you're not familiar, the meridian lines are basically the system that connect and naturally move all of the energy through our body, right? And they can be activated. Your meridian lines, that's kind of what acupuncture runs off of, right? So we may put a needle in here because that's going to activate something in this part of your body, or we're going to put something in your toe because it'll activate this part, right? So it's this connected system. So this is for your liver meridian, and this is planning and action. Planning and action, which I think is interesting, just taking that alone, because we were really talking about the idea of planning and doing all of this work. For me, it is planning of paying attention to where these points of tension come from and how to do it differently. Like that is planning. That's looking ahead. Okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to operate differently? And then also the idea of action, because like I said, I think that is also like when I say this time is about rest, but it's not about rest, or excuse me, that's where I misspoke. This is not about rest. And when we talk about going slow, that's not necessarily that you need to rest, but going slow long enough to know what is the actual action that needs to be taken. So, right, again, for me, it's the action is not the planning is knowing I don't need a cup of coffee. My body would like green tea with lemon, right? And then the action is knowing, okay, I'm going to slow down, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my body what it needs. So it's interesting that we were already kind of talking about that. I also love that I wanted to look through this. Let me see if I can do it fast enough. That she's in this, first of all, it's all green, which is this like healing love energy. So again, I think that's so much of, because these new systems and what's coming in this new part of you, so much of it is going to come from your heart chakra. So much of it is coming from loving yourself enough to know that you don't need to be scared. Because a lot of this new body, this new person that we are, all this new work we're putting out, all this stuff is just really about the things that are the most authentic to us. And we've been doing the work to be courageous enough and step into it to be able to show it and share it, right? I think it was last week or the week before, and I talked about this isn't about courage. And yeah, it was last week because it was drop your armor, that it's not like, okay, we're going to do this. Like, can you move through the world with wonder and wonderment and ease, and allow that to be the movement rather than this, I don't feel that this new version of yourself needs all of your courage. What it needs of you is just to be, because that's the courageous act, right? So it feeds into itself. I'm going to see, I think this new book, I don't know if it goes through. Here we go. Yeah. So your meridian line for your liver is, so it talks about either like let me slow down. What I'm showing you is for this card, just to give you some kind of things that maybe you may feel very called to this card. So I want to give you a little bit more. The idea of with your liver, so we're either looking at is this yin or yang energy. So this is yin energy, right? Which I also love. That's why she's in this beautiful kind of like physical movement, but it feels very loose, right? So you may have like a yin yoga class that you can get into. You could even just like Google yin yoga on YouTube. You're welcome. This is also has to the bodily pathways within your legs. So maybe stretching, a lot of that movement, maybe dance is something that you feel called to. The element is wood, which I really love. So whether that's maybe you want to buy a new like wood figurine, or I just got a ping. I don't know who it is, but somebody's going to message me and be like, oh, I just got this new thing. So I don't know who you are yet, but I'm interested to see who DMs me, because I know somebody is. And one of you just got a new like either like wood piece or something that's going up on kind of like your mantle area. So anyway, mantle area. Okay, let's move on. And then the keywords are planning and action. So again, I think we're definitely in that, space, and it's all moving. That's what I love so much about this card. There's a lot of like there's a lot of like floating and harmony and just kind of like she's almost like on display, but only for herself. And there's like, her hands aren't like up high. It's like very nice and ease. So again, how can we go into this new space, this planning and this action while moving with ourselves rather than against ourselves? That's all she's got. That's what I got for you. So, keep tuning in each week, all the time. I'm going to be bringing you each week, all the time. I'm going to be bringing you updates on the energy, both for spiritually, what's going on, physically, what's going on, and we can just kind of combine it and live in harmony. How does that sound? Good to me. Good to you. All right. Love you, mean it.